Overkill. It's what we do to our body's naturally occurring flora when we use too many antibacterial products. The only bacteria that can survive the onslaught are superbugs, the mutant germs that lead to infections like MRSA and deadly C. diff. However, nosocomial infections are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the danger posed by the excessive use of antibacterials. One of the most common ingredients of these products, Triclosan, is regulated by the FDA as a drug or active ingredient in personal care products. But you may be surprised to find out that it's also regulated by the EPA as a chemical additive and pesticide. Frenzied media coverage of emerging strains of resistant bacteria, like MRSA, has created a money-making bonanza for antibacterial products, touting magic bullet claims. Meanwhile, the FDA itself states that there's no evidence that these products offer any health advantage over plain soap and water. In addition to its presence in household products, Triclosan is used in the manufacture of many plastics and textiles, showing up in conveyor belts and air conditioner coils. You can even buy antibacterial pencils. The reality that was trampled in the crush to sanitize our environment was that the average reasonably healthy person, whether child or adult, isn't threatened by superbugs in their home or even at their school or workplace. Clinical settings are where the risk exists. Nowhere is the threat of hospital-borne illness more serious than in the operating room, where surgical site infections put lives on the line and cost hospitals thousands of dollars per patient. Sutures coated with Triclosan have become the front line of defense in the surgeon's arsenal against such infections. Studies conflict on the efficacy of these sutures. Significant research shows improved outcomes in the form of both reduced incidence of sepsis as well as decreased scarring. But still other research suggests that these outcomes may be attributable to surgical technique. So if there's a chance that Triclosan-coated sutures are responsible for preventing even a few life-threatening infections, what's the harm in using them? Better safe than sorry? Maybe not. One problem is that the chemical accumulates in our bodies as we're exposed to it over time. Triclosan has been documented in human urine, breast milk, and blood. Studies indicate that Triclosan is an endocrine disruptor, interfering with the activity of hormones and metabolic processes in our bodies. The EPA and FDA have acknowledged as much and are hurrying to evaluate the substance further. The environment is at risk too. Cleaning and personal care products are washed down our drains every day, carrying Triclosan into the waterways, where it's classified as a toxic contaminant by the EPA. Virtually everyone is a stakeholder in the use of Triclosan. Healthcare facilities, insurance companies, and surgeons incur huge monetary losses from hospital-acquired infections. Consumers can't take the risk of getting a deadly infection every time they walk through the doors of a hospital. On the other hand, the manufacturers of antibacterial products don't want to give up their cash cow. The American Medical Association recommends that Triclosan be limited to use in clinical settings where risk of infections is high. Perhaps the FDA should heed this advice and ban the use of Triclosan in consumer products where the chemical is an obvious overkill. These changes could decrease the total burden of toxins placed in our body and on our environment, while tempering antibiotic resistance. Education and transparency are what we need. Consumers must be made aware of the far-reaching dangers of antibacterial overuse. Do we really need to employ the help of a nuclear bomb to do the job of a simple bar of soap? Regulators bear the responsibility to spread the word that Triclosan is not part of the solution, but in fact is a large part of the problem.